right, so we're going to complete the inequalities foldable. So this side of the foldable should be glued in your notebook, the inequalities. And then this side has got the flap. So we're going to talk about the less than symbol, the greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So the two bottom symbols have a line underneath them. That's how you can tell me the difference between just the less than or greater than, and less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. So the first one we're going to focus on is the less than symbol. And if you open up your flap here, okay. So keywords that tell me less than are going to be fewer than, smaller than, below, and under. So these are keywords for less than, okay? When you are graphing an inequality, so not only we're going to write inequalities, but we're also going to graph them on a number line. So for instance, with graphing them, when we graph them, less than, if it's less than symbol, it's going to be an open circle. So it's an open circle. And since it's less than, we are going to shade to the left. Okay? So for example, so x is less, so this value is going to be less than -3. So remember in inequalities, you can have multiple solutions. So that means any value is going to be less than -3. So since it's a less than, we're going to put an open circle on 3. So here's 3, and I'm going to label it. Okay, and we're going to put an open circle on 3, and I'm going to shade to the left. So the one trick is look at my inequality symbol, and I'm going whichever way it's pointing to, like an arrow, that is, I'm going to shade it in that direction. So I'm going to shade it to the left. So I'm always going to start, when I'm writing inequalities, I'm always going to start with the variable first, okay? So that's less than, okay? So that's less than. The next one is going to be the greater than symbol. So keywords for that one, so that's part of that. Okay, keywords is going to be more than. Okay, larger than. Greater than. And above. Okay? So more than, larger than, greater than, and above are going to be for greater than symbol. When I'm going to graph this, if it's just greater than, I'm going to have, again, I'm going to have an open circle. And I'm going to shade to the right. Okay? Now, if I have 5 less than y and I have the number first, I'm going to flip this around so the variable is first. So if this is going to be open towards the variable, I want to make sure when I rewrite it, the symbol is open towards the variable. Okay? So this is the same thing, right? So this is the greater than symbol. I am going to label my graph. So this is 5, 4, 3, 6, 7. So I'm going to put an open circle on 5, and it's going to be greater than, so I'm shading to the right. And again, this direction of my arrow goes to the right, so that's what I'm going to shade my inequality. Okay? So that's going to be greater than. The next one is going to be less than or equal to. It's or equal to because it has a little line underneath it, okay, for the equal to. So the next one is less than or equal to. So the keywords for that is not more than, maximum. Okay, maximum does not exceed, okay? Not greater than, and then at most. Okay? So at most and maximum, you're going to see a lot for this one. So that's less than or equal to. And then when you're graphing it, because you have the little line underneath the symbol, that means it could be less than or equal to it. Okay, so the value can be equal to it. So it's going to be a closed circle. Okay, and because it's less than, you're going to shade to the left. So A is less than or equal to 14. So when I shade this, label 14, 13, 12, 15, and 16, that means this A can be equal to 14 or less than 14. Okay, so I'm going to put a closed circle to include 14, and then I'm going to shade to the left to indicate these values are less, also could be less than 14. Okay, so I can go up to 14. I can be 14 or less. Okay. The next one is going to be greater than or equal to. Okay. So the keywords for that one is going to be is not less than, minimum, can exceed, not smaller than, and at least. And at least and minimum are the most common ones you're going to see. Minimum and at least. So again, these are all words for greater than or equal to. So the value can be greater than or equal to. So when you're graphing this, I'm going to have a closed circle. Okay. And then I'm going to shade to the right. Okay. So this value B is greater than or equal to -9. So when I am graphing this, this is -9, -10, -11, 8, and 7. So remember, when I'm doing greater than or equal to, I'm going to shade, I'm going to include the -9. It could be equal to -9, or it could be greater than -9. So remember, when you're talking about negatives, the further left you go, the less they are, okay? The more right you go towards 0, the greater they are. So that is your foldable for the inequalities, okay? So make sure you have this filled in, and this will help you when we are working with inequalities, okay?